So what's the investor's mantra? Happiness is fill in the blank. And for me, I fill in the blank with 3 separate items. Let's go for a walk and talk about this, and be sure to stay to the end, because I think the last one is going to be the most powerful for most of us if we can make it work out. So the first, happiness is for me, happiness is free cash flow. And what I mean by that is, you know, we're spending less than we earn, because that's where the power comes in. That's when we can start saving. That's when we can start investing. And the sooner we do that, the sooner we build a foundation for ourselves. And, you know, it's hard to do early in your career. But on the other hand, you know, if you've just come out of college or you've been learning a trade, you're probably used to living without spending that much money. Right? So when you get your first job that's paying good money, if you can maybe take a smaller step up in lifestyle. Now, you know, if you've gotten married and have kids, it's harder to do that. But if you can look at, you know, that first paycheck, when you're like, wow, you know, this is a lot of money. I remember my first job, I was getting paid $36,500 a year. Now, this was a long time ago. That was a good salary back then for a recent undergraduate graduate. But I remember thinking, wow, this is a lot of money. And really did not change my lifestyle that much. You know, frankly, I was probably saving a lot more than I should, right? I mean, I think those of us that watch this channel, we are fans of investing, of saving our money. We tend to be better savers. So anyways, I definitely fell into that category. I think I shared with you. I hired my first financial advisor probably 3 months after working, and had a game plan. But just starting to save up that money and building that foundation. So for me, the first happiness is positive cash flow. The second one is one that a lot of you have heard of, and that is happiness is the power of compounding. Boy, if you can build that base, start getting it invested wisely, and you know, it's super easy to, you know, you're finally making money. It's super easy to maybe invest it too conservatively. But if you're young and you have a long time horizon, I don't know your situation. This isn't financial advice. Google a fee-only financial advisor if you want advice on your specific situation. But if you can withstand a more volatile portfolio, boy, when you're young is when you have the best opportunity to withstand that volatility, right? First off, you don't have that much money. So if the market does a 30% correction, I remember Black Monday, 1987. So I started working in 1987, and I took the summer off. One of my hobbies back then was hang gliding. Unfortunately, I did that for 30 years of my life and never so much as scratched a fingernail, knock on wood here. So anyways, so when Black Monday 1987 happened, if I had $5,000 to my name, I'd be surprised. It was probably less than that. And the market was down, I think it was 20% in one day. It never happened before, or certainly been a long, long time. And so I remember it was super scary for some of the other people I was working with, right? I was working with some older people, some people that were a few years away from retirement. And I remember, you know, just how much pain that caused them. I remember they couldn't work. You know, they were so distracted by what happened. And, you know, as a young person, I was probably 21, 22 years old at the time. This sounds bad, but I really didn't understand what the big deal was. You know, for me, I just lost $1,000, and, you know, I had 40 years until I needed the money. So the fact that it was the topic of conversation, not only that day, but for the next couple weeks, and people were changing their investment strategy. You know, again, just getting to the point, when you're younger, you can accept more volatility, and the pain of volatility is not as big, right? I mean, if you have $500,000 and the market goes down by 20%, you know, that's $100,000. That's real money. And that's quite a bit more painful, particularly if you're getting close to retirement. So when you're young, in general, most people can accept more volatility, and then that compounding works even stronger for you. So that's the second one. Happiness is compounding, investment compounding. And the more time you have, the more powerful that is. People say actually that 90% of Warren Buffett's current net worth was achieved after he was 65 years old. You know, when he was 65, he was already one of the richest people in the world. So just that compounding on that huge asset, relatively large asset base that Warren Buffett had. So that's my second happiness is. So far we have happiness is free cash flow and happiness is compounding. And then the third one for me is one that's difficult to do, but I want to share it with you. It's certainly aspirational. We can't all do it, and please don't, you know, beat up on yourself if you're like, yeah, that's just not going to be possible. But the third one for me, the investor's mantra, is happiness is being debt-free by the time you're 50. Boy, if you can make that happen, it opens up a lot of flexibility for you. I've shared before, you know, once you're in your 50s, if you lose your job, it becomes harder to find another good job. It shouldn't be that way in America, but that's just the reality. It is. And it also allows you to start piling away money towards your retirement account if you're not quite where you want to be there. If you're not quite where you want to be yet, it allows you to kind of catch up on your savings and on your investments. And if you are where you want to be, it allows you to kind of have more fun along the way and try out some of these things that you might be thinking about for retirement. And I think that's a really important principle, that, you know, we want to kind of try out some of these things that we might want to do in retirement. You don't want to, quote unquote, cross the finish line and retire and not know what you want to do. So, you know, if you have a little bit more money, if you can be debt-free by the time you're 50, that allows you and your spouse, you to go do more adventures, try different things out. Also gives you more flexibility at work. You know, you can share, hey, you know, as you get closer to retiring, you know, these are some things that I need to do just so that when I'm whatever age you're planning on retiring, that you have the foundation and you have the knowledge of what you think you want to do to retire. And just like taking care of our health is an important thing, I think taking care of our mental attitude towards retirement is important, because it is a different world, right? We've been working for 30, 40 years. That's a long time. And in order to transition successfully into retirement, you kind of, it's easier to do that successfully if you have an idea what you want to do. And boy, if there's any way at all you can negotiate to get, you know, maybe take a month off every year. I know that's hard to do, but if you can make that happen and just try out different things you think you might want to do in retirement, I think that'll pay off in spades. So again, those are the three investors' mantras that I have. Happiness is, again, they're free cash flow, it's compounding, and then it's be debt-free if you can by the time you're 50. And if you can't do 50, just do as soon as you can. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. It really does help the algorithm find other viewers like yourself that my videos might resonate with and prove helpful to. Do leave a comment. I do read the comments. I find them super motivational. I try to reply to as many of those as I can. Thank you to everybody. My channel's seeing really nice growth, and that's thanks to all of you. So thank you very much for that. And until next time, I'm Azul, encouraging you to take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. Remember, you're only young once. Use this time wisely.